Now it's time for our news-breaking guest, Sean Hannity. How are you, my friend?
The great one. Thank me. God bless us. How am I? That's it. I'm done.
So you have a killer show tonight.
Funny? You don't even know about. Well, you're going to be on the show tonight. I will tell you.
Yes.
It's funny. So, I do these audience shows a couple of days a week now, right?
Yes.
And before the show,
you do your lounge act.
That's one way to put it. Yes. I always ask the crowd how many people we have. How many Mark Levin fans we have here, and it's everybody every night. And I'll ask how many know Mark and I are best friends, and it's everybody. They all know. And then I'll say, there's a couple of things about Mark that are so beneficial.
You do this every time you have one of those audiences? Seriously?
I do it every night. Yeah, joke, but it's one of the best jokes I give. People love it. So I'll ask everybody. I said, we're best friends. I said there's so many advantages when you have Mark Levin as a best friend. I said anytime I need a question about the Constitution answered, he's a walking encyclopedia on the U.S. Constitution, and rather than investigate myself, he'll tell me in like a minute and a half, and I'll have my answer. So I said, that's a huge advantage. And then I said, he's the only guest in the history of cable news that will say, that's it, I'm done. I won't answer any more questions. People really laugh at that. And the last
But you know why? Because
you're done.
Two reasons. Number one, there are other guests there, and if I'm not going over, if I'm done, I'm done. Number two.
Okay. No. I'm not. It's not a criticism.
No, but the other reason
is the only one that does that. That's what makes
I can't hear the music.
That's what makes Mark.
Yeah.
And the last thing I say to people, I said the greatest gift when you have Mark as a friend is you'll never ever need to spend money on an alarm clock, because guaranteed every morning at 6:59, 7 o'clock on the dot, the latest 7:01, my phone is going to ring. And it's going to be Mark. And it's going to be him going, did you read this, Adam Schiff? They laugh at that.
I laugh at that. But what people don't know is we might do that at midnight.
Yeah, what people don't know is I never sleep. So it's pretty funny. First of all, your show's doing great. What?
Thank you. What people don't know is you cook your own food.
Every night.
And you're quite the chef.
And I was living with sweet baby James and my sister, and now I live totally, completely alone. And I have a house for protection, so it's bigger than I need. And I use like 3 rooms in the whole house. But I love cooking. I always have. Since
What's your
13,
favorite food?
Food that I never cook. That's my real favorite food. Is food that I never cook.
Well, give us an example.
I love pasta. I will make occasionally shrimp.
You don't
scampi.
cook pasta?
I don't drink. I hardly ever have any pasta. I'm on a keto, paleo, low carb diet.
Excuse you.
Because I work out every day.
Yes, I know. Your MMA and all the rest. You could kill me and break my arm 3 times.
I could, but I never would.
But you know how fast. Hold on now.
Wednesday night. You're going to love this because you're a big MMA guy.
Hold on. You know how fast I can grab a 3. You haven't seen me. You have to practice. Yeah. Grab my 357.
I bet you're quick. I practice stripping too.
So,
we work with 6 blades firearms. But guess who's on the show Wednesday night? You're going to love it.
Wednesday night. Who?
Famous MMA.
A fighter or Dana White?
Fighter. One of the most well-known and one of the biggest characters in an MMA.
First name Dan? Daniel
Connor.
Cormier?
I love him, but no, Connor.
Oh, are you kidding?
Conor McGregor. Yeah, how cool is that?
He is tremendous. How did you get him?
It's a long story, but
you're Irish.
Coming
he's
on the
Irish.
program.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I don't think it has anything to do with the Irish part, but maybe it does. Who knows?
So, does he know what you do?
I don't know. I've never spoken to him personally, but he has to be on the show. He has a big announcement that he's going to make on the show.
I think he's returning to fighting, actually.
There's that and a very generous donation he's giving to an organization that you and I both know and love, but I'm not going to mention it right now. I'll say anything else.
He's coming on your show. Is he coming in person or by satellite?
Yeah, in studio. We have a studio audience. Yeah. I'd love for you to be there.
Well, I can't get up there. You know, my beautiful wife's in Israel running a Jerusalem marathon.
Oh, my God.
And I'm here with the dogs, the two of them, and one of them just crapped in the living room. So, you know, that's where I am right now.
You know what the funny thing is about Mark's bunker? There really is a bunker where Mark does his radio program.
Yes.
Now, you got these two pups, and I'm so happy because you have this tendency when you adopt a dog, you adopt a dog that's 12 years old because your heart gets broken every time you lose one of your favorite beloved pets. And if people want to know the another side of Mark, you've got to read Rescuing Sprite. I read that book and I was bawling. And I lived through all of that with you, and it was not a good time. That was rough. And a few other times, Barney and a few others.
Well, Ronnie is 7 months old, and Toby is 5 months old. And
thank God, this is the first time you ever adopted a dog that was young.
Now, we had one, Pepsi, who was a tremendous dog. I adopted him when he was 8 weeks old.
Okay.
I got him out of a pet shop. Are pet shops even exist anymore?
They do, but they're rare. It's not like it was when we were growing up, for sure.
Too bad, because the guy got these dogs from the community. You know, somebody brought him in, and he bought him, and I got this dog that was such a great dog. He was half border collie, the smartest damn dog you could. I think he had the intelligence of a 5-year-old kid. I really do.
You know, listen, dogs are brilliant. You know what dogs are? It's like it's a cliche when people say, you know, if you want a friend in Washington, get a dog, right? But the real truth is, if you want a friend in life, get a dog.
Mm-hmm. Unlike Swalwell, don't get a hooker. Now, here's my question. Who are your guests on tonight?
Are you talking about Fang Fang, or who are you talking about?
Fang Fang Bang Bang, I think her name is.
I think it's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is the name of the movie.
So, who's on your show other than me?
Well, first of all, you're on. I will tell you something. I have a lot to say on this banking issue and Biden's billionaire bailout, because that's what it is. This is a bailout of all of Biden's Silicon Valley's, you know, buddies out there that donated to the Democratic Party. Eventually, we will get all those numbers, and by them announcing that they're going to go above the FDIC a number of $250,000 insured. This is probably only the beginning. I mean, Silicon Valley had no official chief risk officer for 8 months. Did you read about this company? The head of the company sells, $3.5 million worth of stocks 2 weeks before. The company, everyone that worked for the company got the bonuses on Friday just before the FDIC took over.
How do they think they're going to get away with this?
They had a big party at a steakhouse, an expensive steakhouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And now we're going to be paying for all of that.
Mm-hmm. How do they think they're going to get away with this stuff? It amazes me.
But by the way, you know what my favorite part is? Joe Biden swearing we're not going to pay. Taxpayers aren't going to pay.
Well, then
Tell me, Mark, who is going to pay?
He's such an idiot. Let's be honest.
Well,
we know he won't pay because he didn't pay all his taxes. He set up those two S corporations so he wouldn't have to pay into Medicare and Obamacare. The 2 years he earned $17 million.
Amazing.
That's his fair share.
We're going to get an answer one day, and I have James Comer on tonight. He's got some breaking news. But I'll tell you right now, this country needs an answer to these main questions. How much money did the Biden family syndicate do with China? How much money did the Biden family do with Russia? And how much money with Ukraine? And how much did Joe benefit financially? They don't want to even hand over these suspicious activity reports, and they're trying to stonewall
Can I ask you a question?
Investigation and Jordan's investigation. Yeah, sure.
How is it possible 4 grand juries are impaneled to investigate former President Trump, and not one is impaneled to investigate the Manchurian president? Not one.
Great question.
It's unbelievable, disgusting.
I do believe that Comer and Jordan and these committees, if they're going to get to the bottom of this issue, they're going to get to the bottom of the FBI if it's politicized and the DOJ being weaponized. They're going to get to the bottom of the COVID origins. They're going to get to the bottom of Afghanistan. The one thing I will say, and you and I took a little heat for it at the time because we supported, we wanted Republicans long before January to have decided on the speaker and not have it play out publicly. It ended up being fine. It wasn't a big deal. But McCarthy made very specific promises, and there was there's a means by which any member could call a vote to get rid of him if he doesn't keep his promises. But every single investigation he promised to do, he's doing them. Every one of them.
Other than Newt, he's definitely the most conservative speaker in my lifetime, other than Newt. And Newt was quite conservative, but he's been quite... I mean, McCarthy might be as good as Newt by the time it's all said and done. I mean, listen, so far, so good.
So far, so good. They're going to have a challenge on the debt ceiling. Republicans are going to have to, at least 218 of them, rally around a fiscal responsibility plan. Frankly, I would include energy. I would include borders in that myself. I would include not financing
Gonna have to run, big guy.
IRS agents. All right, well, anyway, we're going to see you in less than an hour. You're going to be on my TV show looking all handsome.
Yes, I'm actually going to dress up for you. I'm going to wear pants.
No, all right. We got a great show tonight, so thank you for coming on. I can't wait to see you.
It's an honor. God bless, my brother.